Hello everyone, welcome to the Decks of the Weekend, my weekly video in which I go over kind of like the I want to say new decks that happened in the Magic competitive formats. Usually focus first on Modern and then go over some Arena formats. The first deck that I'm going to be looking at is for sure Green-White Scales. This deck was the talk of the weekend on Saturday Challenge, first and second place. On Sunday Challenge, top 8 space, all different players. The list is very similar. I want to say the deck raised to defeat the Grixis Shadow, which has always had a tough matchup against Urza Saga decks, and Green-White Scales is definitely an Urza Saga deck. Not only you make constructs, they're very large because your deck is mostly artifacts, but it also picks up some very important one or zeros with Zabaz, the Glimmer Wasps, the Ozolith, and Springlet Drum, together with the Welding Jar to protect your Arcbound Ravager that can easily go off thanks to Hardened Scales and either Walking Ballista or Hungerback Walker. There is a new addition to the deck that is Patchwork Automaton. This is basically an Ingenious Myth, but it can grow larger and larger. Ingenious Myth only grows larger once. This one can be more than that. And it has Word 2, which is very important in Modern since the mana curve of decks are very, very cheap. Decks just can't afford to spend 3 mana on a removal spell. So like the pay to push plus pay Word for 2 is definitely taxing. Only 2 copies of Ancient Steerings. The Splash of White is of course for Lurrus as well as Esper Sentinel. The mana base sees 4 Nexus that as well as in Hammer Time in this deck you're just easily able to kill your opponent together with a Ravager and an Arda Scales. The mana base also features 1 Boseiju and White Engaju, as well as Pendant Haven. Not that much else to say other than this deck was, I want to say, just a fringe deck, but all of a sudden is a driving force in the Modern format after this weekend. So for sure, I'm going to be featuring this deck in the rest of. In the future videos, as again, definitely something to discover since it was. But this weekend overall saw very many fringe decks raise like top 8ing. We see a Blue-White Spirits featuring Yorion. We see the return of Boggles. We see a Mardu Anvil. So definitely a lot of cool new decks to take a look at. I want to now showcase another deck that got some pretty important edition of one. It's not this one, sorry. Another some pretty important edition here. That is the deck that Ivan Espinoza brought to a top 4 finish in the Chicago Energy Series event, and this is, you might think it's like a simple 4-color Omnath deck, and well, it is. You play Yorion and blah blah blah. But this deck plays 4 copies of March of the Order Worldly Light, which is not a card that we've seen a lot in Modern. I want to say this card is very popular in Historic, in Standard, and Pioneer. But I mean, when this card got previewed, everybody was like, "Oh yeah, 1 mana blow up Urza Saga." But in practice, I've never played against this card in Modern, except I did once, and it was against Ivan. I was playing Saga, and this interaction happened. The March of the Other Worldly Light, my Urza Saga, and it felt bad. This deck plays a ton of removal spell with 4 March, 4 Ending, 4 Bolts. There's no Ice Fang Coatl, no counter spell. So yeah, this is definitely another take. There's no Divine Purge, but Jace, so this is definitely another take. Sorry, I meant to say Memory Deluge. My brain is saying random words right now. 4 Boseiju in the 95, 2+2. There's 1 Sokhenzen and 1 Otawara. So that Bread and 6 is really just put in a work. The mana base is just running out with fetch lands, 4 Force of Negation, only a couple of Veil of Summer, and 1 Sanctifier and Vec to go along with the 1 Eladamri's Call. So this is it for Modern. Let's now go over to Arena. In Arena, there honestly haven't happened that many events happening this weekend. Only a little bit of a standard event over on Magic Online with the challenges, of course, and a 250 player event on MTG Melee that was won by Mono White in the hands of Helio Sampaio. And yeah, so let's talk about it. So in standard, Faceless 7 is banned, and it got immediately replaced with Crawling Barons, which is worse, but still does the job of just being a land that can somehow become even bigger than Faceless 7. This is a great mana sink. 16 planes, 2 Eganjo, 3 caves, so that's a total of 8 spell land for 24 lands. 2 the Wandering Emperor and 1 Legion Angel. This is the top of your curve. The Wandering Emperor might be a little bit clunky with Thalia, but still, the power of this card is very, very huge. I found a super sweet interaction with the Wandering Emperor and Brutal Cathar, in which you play Cathar, you exile the thing, the next turn you pass, you flip the Cathar to Knight, and then you have Wandering Emperor on your opponent's turn, and that's a super sweet interaction that didn't happen before the print of this Flash Planeswalker. You have 10 1-drop, 4 Usher, 4 Initiate, and a couple of portable holes. Luminarch Aspirant, just the usual mono-white shenanigans over here. So yeah, this is definitely a strong deck in Standard. The ban of Faceless 7 did hurt it, but I think it didn't hurt it as much. Thanks to just the fact that the Wandering Emperor is a great card, and Mono White just has so many strong cards in this format. Thalia, Luminarch Aspirant, and Elite Spellbinder, so on and so forth. So yeah, this is the decks of the weekend. This weekend, there's gonna be the set championship of Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. I will be competing. I've practiced with my team, an open team that I created a few weeks ago at this point. Our team worked hard, I want to say. We came up with some deck list. We submitted it on Sunday night. So obviously I can't disclosure yet, but there'll be historic and alchemy decks. Yeah, on the channel there's gonna be for sure historic content. Alchemy is a little bit underpopular, as I've been mentioning in these videos, but still I think Standard is looking great, and alchemy is very similar to Standard, honestly. Yeah, sure, some cards are nerfed like Luminarch Aspirant, and some cards are unbanned like Faceless 7, but we will definitely see, Mono White, Naya Runes, and the classic decks that go over in Standard also in Alchemy. So yeah, of course I'm gonna be focusing on Modern, and this will be, just the kind of like the channel thing. There's gonna also be some cubes this week, some vintage cubes. I've recorded them over the weekend, last week, so they will be definitely go up. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you very soon on the channel. Every day, many videos. So yeah, subscribe, like, and comments if you have anything to say. Goodbye.